It is my hope that out of this solemn occasion.
Este señor es Andy Serkis, es actor y tiene una particularidad, y es que quizás todos ustedes lo conocen, pero a la vez no lo reconozcan. Es el actor que interpretó a Gollum en El Señor de los Anillos, a King Kong, al Capitán Haddock en Tintin, al líder Snoke en Star Wars y en este caso a César en El Planeta de los Simios. Esta semana estrena El Planeta de los Simios, La Guerra, y esta es una saga que a mí me gusta muchísimo. De hecho, me vi las 2 primeras películas antes de ir al estreno de la tercera, y me llamó muchísimo la atención cómo la tecnología en esta última película logró que cada movimiento, cada sutileza de Andy Serkis se pudiera ver reflejada en todo lo que hacía el personaje de César. La gente de Fox me invitó a un evento exclusivo que se hacía en Brasil donde estaba Andy Serkis y tuve una oportunidad única. Pude hacerle algunas preguntas para comprender mejor cómo un actor se mete en este personaje, qué direcciones necesita y cómo se inspiró específicamente para el personaje de César en El Planeta de los Simios. La entrevista fue muy corta, pero creo que les va a gustar mucho, así que espero que la disfruten.
Well, there's two things really. The technology that allows us to film has changed from the hardware, from the cameras have changed. From when we shot Lord of the Rings, I acted opposite my fellow actors, Elijah Wood and Sean Astin, for instance. But I was just filmed on normal movie cameras, and then I would have to go back and repeat what I'd done on the motion capture stage inside another studio with all the motion capture cameras and wearing a suit with markers on, and that was the process. So that process couldn't go outside when we started. What has really changed over the course of the last 17 years is Apes. The Apes film was the first Apes film. Rise was the big turning point for that. Was being able to take the technology outside and shoot on location, so that you didn't have to go back and repeat the process. So that technology again on the front end, if you like, has changed, and then also our suits with the markers on are very robust now, so that we can film in the snow and the rain and all of those extreme conditions. But in post-production, the work that Weta Digital in New Zealand has improved in the sense that, I mean, even from Rise, like you say, you can see a progression in terms of the photorealism of the rendering. So the software that they create for the texturing of the fur, the skin, the eyes, everything now is much more photoreal, and therefore it enables you enables them to really honor the performance that the actor is creating on set to a much greater level.
Apes fight only to survive.
Bad human can kill ape.
Well, obviously, to start at the beginning, I based Caesar on a real chimpanzee called Oliver, who was a very strange creature in the sense that he always stood bipedally. He was always up on and walked like a human being, and he had very human facial expressions. And people believed at the time in the 1970s that he was potentially the creation of like the missing link, like the progeny of man and ape. Yeah. And so he had a lot of DNA experiments carried out on him. So what I thought was interesting about that was Caesar as an outsider, Caesar as a young orphaned chimpanzee who then is brought up with human beings, believing himself to be human. That's how I approach the character, which gives him this ability to be empathetic towards humans, but also not see the differences between the different species of apes, gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, bonobos. He sees everyone as the same. Apes, humans, they're all the same to him. He treats them the same. So that was the beginning of the character. In this movie, 2 movies later, yeah, we see that break down.
Have you finally come to save your apes?
I came for you.
The Colonel represents, all his hatred is focused on the Colonel, and yet when he meets the Colonel, he realizes how similar his situation is, and the loss that he has suffered, and the personal sacrifice that he has made. But there's a fascination between them, and yet there is this hatred, and both sides want to ensure the survival of their own species. So really, when Woody and I were working together, we had huge respect for each other as actors, and we really really focused on, you know, that intense relationship. And Matt Reeves obviously directed us in such a way and let the scene play out the entire scene, which was a long scene, you know, that first scene where they really connect with each other. But you know, so there is this war within Caesar of you know, the anger that he feels towards him, and yet this growing compassion for him, even though he is he is such a devastating character for him.
I did not start this war.